Pop Savers TV. We right here with Soundview's own on the Soundview Red Couch. Give it up for Siete.
That's a fact. That's a fact. You're talking to SR7G. You heard?
For me, man. We're doing everything on the fly, man. You know what it is. It's hip-hop. Blame it on hip-hop. We ain't really trying to edit nothing here, man. We here at the Cultures Gallery on the Soundview Red Couch. Give it up for that.
That's
the real home of hip-hop, for those that don't know. Anyway, my man Siete7 came through today.
Yeah.
He got his own podcast.
That's right. We talking about the Bear Witness podcast. Me and my man Don P, we got that started about 2 weeks ago. I'm here, just cruise through on the humble to come see my man Logo and come cop something nice to throw on for the next episode we're going to record tomorrow.
As he should. And listen, he could have went anywhere, but he came here and he started talking about the podcast. And I said, oh, look, I'm trying to do something myself.
Facts.
And the most interesting thing about podcasts is that if you have a microphone and headphones, you could do your own thing.
Facts. Get
But
started.
the thing is, what are you going to talk about? Me? I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. But I'm going to talk about today. And what's today?
Today is the present, man. Yesterday was yesterday. Tomorrow's tomorrow, man.
Yeah. Well, I know. I made a video earlier about Ras Baraka, the mayor from Newark, who got, he got arrested, which is a normal situation where we come from. Unfortunately, never going back to jail is the model. But people who usually stand up for people usually go to jail. Yeah. And Ras Baraka just stood up for what he felt, and he got arrested for it. And free him, and I'm pretty sure he'll be home soon. And free everybody who's in prison, and hopefully come home and change their life around. Siete, you ever been in jail?
Nah, man. Actually, I was fortunate enough to work there as a correctional counselor, you know what I'm saying, on the other side of the badge. And I got next to a lot of brothers, spoke with them, helped them, then afterwards kept in contact, which is usually what you're not supposed to do. But I did it anyway because when you're doing it genuine from the heart, that's what it just calls for. If you're doing it any other way, then it's phony.
I ain't know that. They use working as a counselor in prison. That's dope to see somebody that come from your area, that represents you, looks like you, that's a civilian.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I mean? That's
Definitely.
doing God's work. And that's what's up, man. I appreciate that about you. I ain't know that, man.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And being that you had some experience on that, you know me, I'm never going back to jail. But every day I wake up, unfortunately, ready to go to jail. Sometimes I even put two pairs of socks on, just in case. You know what I'm saying? Like, it might be that day. But what would you say to the people out there, you know what I'm saying, who forget about the people who been to prison or on their way to prison. Let's not talk about them because we gear too much on that. What would you say to family members who have somebody in prison?
Oh, man. Good question. There's a lot of disconnection in that area, man. Dudes usually have to make commitments to entities and people that normally they wouldn't bow down to in those circumstances because they're biological family, acquaintances, girlfriends, whoever. They usually just disconnect, and it usually always happens somewhere around right after that first year, through what I've been told by others. And usually after that first year, I mean, for those that's strong, it can go for about 3. But once that disconnection settles in, then that person usually becomes someone else, and then you see the erosion of boundaries, things that people normally wouldn't do in the past. Then they'll start committing to those things because there's a void, and that's people that they love or thought they loved them, you know? Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a saying, out of sight,
out of mind. That's a fact.
That's a true story right there. But, you know, there's a lot of people that when you go to prison, there's a lot of men that I know for sure, they actually let go of the situation mentally, so like that they could continue to the next day. There's a lot of men I know that tell their ladies, move forward because they're, let's keep it real. You know, if my girl gets locked up, 3 days later, I'm trying to get some buns. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's the reality. So,
Yeah, keep it vanilla.
right. So now people that's in prison, you know, when they come home, they also have to rebuild their relationships with the people they lost, because you know sometimes they still part of their lives. You know, even though the person may have left them, abandoned them, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? You have to build those relationships with those people that you left behind.
Yes.
You know, and here at the Hip Hop Saviors TV, we go with the wind. We don't really have a format. How we gonna end these conversations or even start it? But what I like to do is go with the universe. I call it God's work. You know what I'm saying? And that, on that note, we got Siete here, and from Soundview, actually, from the 2000s, you said?
Yeah, I used to hang with the kids from the 2000s. S Kids, what's up? But I was born and raised in Soundview, 1711 Randall. Word, and then I stomped over to the 883rd block, and then that's when I met the S Kids and all that. So that's my little circumference.
Wow. So, yeah. So, 880?
Yeah.
Theory of the buildings?
Yeah, the red bricks, you know that.
Yeah, I used to actually live in 820.
Oh, man.
That's
so,
a fact. With my children, with Drift used to live in that building at the same time.
That's a fact. We used to get money on the bars together
Yeah,
sometime,
my
right
man, Jim
there
Gang
on
Drift.
100 Park.
That's a true story. So you listen, man. So you call it God's work, man. We here at the Coach's Gallery on the Soundview Red Couch for a reason. Peace.
That's a fact. Peace.
That's what's up.